Malik's First Job, Financial Principles for Teens, is an excellent resource to get your children started on understanding the basics of financial literacy. This book, which is set in Brownsville, Brooklyn, about a young man who gets his first job and then shortly thereafter sits down with his dad to learn how to manage his money. There are several topics that are covered within this work, such as paying yourself first, disciplining your spending, knowing the difference between an asset and a liability, creating multiple sources of income, as well as the importance of being charitable. So again, if you want to get your children started on understanding finance and becoming responsible adults, we highly recommend that you purchase the book, Malik's First Job, Financial Principles for Teens. So please visit maliksfirstjob.com to get more information. Peace.
We got to be the same reason it was important for me to have my first community children library in Gilman Court. I want to make a statement. I want to make sure our statement is correct of giving back to the city. And as well, it's important that we stay in the city of Richmond. And we want the spectators, the fans, and everybody to come from all over the state. But I want to give back. We're giving back 15% of all proceeds to Richmond Public Schools, elementary schools.
Okay.
So, I feel that we should have it in the city so we can showcase that situation. That's going to be our first year. We're going to, do that to make sure these. And that's an extension of Found For You Foundation, as you mentioned earlier, that, me doing the community children libraries, where we used to go into the libraries and the school libraries and donate books to the schools because there's bookshelves wasn't bustling like it was when I was a child, right? And this is aside from me doing the community children libraries. So because we did the free book fairs and everything, and we stocked the bookshelves up in the schools. So instead of doing that, we want to go ahead and just cut them a check, like pick a school, such money allocated for this, so the librarians can go out there and get the books that they actually need, or the other resources that they need.
That's
so it's important for us to stay in Richmond.
Malik's First Job Podcast, here to answer any questions that y'all ask. Financial literacy and resources, parents and young people becoming bosses, CEOs, future leaders, entrepreneurs, conferences and boardrooms getting sponsors secured. If you want generational wealth, Brooklyn's own Kerwin Phillip with information to help. Malik's First Job Podcast, Malik's Podcast, Brooklyn's own Kerwin Phillip, Kerwin Phillip. Malik's First Job Podcast, Brooklyn's own Kerwin Phillip. Generational wealth.
Greetings, everyone. How you doing? This is Kerwin Phillip here with another episode of the Malik's First Job Podcast, where we discuss leadership, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. I know it's been a minute since you've seen me, since I dropped the episode. Took a little break, but now we're back. We're up and rolling. And we're starting off with a great guest, a good friend of mine that I met a while back. I can't even remember where we met. I think we was at it was a street festival in Brooklyn Park, and you were doing a book giveaway. Right?
Yeah, you're exactly right.
That's when we met, right?
I'm surprised you remember that.
Yeah. Again, a great brother, Hassan Fountain. He's started he has the Fountain for Life Foundation, right, which is a literacy initiative where he opens up libraries across the state of Virginia to help promote literacy amongst, underserved communities. But now he started a whole new venture, totally different from the Literacy Project. He is the owner of the ABA basketball team, the Richmond Ram Chargers. Right, we're going to touch base on that as well, right? So let's go ahead and welcome Hassan Fountain to the Malik's First Job Podcast. How you doing, brother?
Fantastic. How you doing today?
Good. So for those that are not familiar with the American Basketball Association, can you share some background on the league itself?
Well, actually, the league, I think, started in 1966, 67, and it lasted to 1976.
Right.
And actually introduced the three-point line. They introduced slam dunk contest, three-point contest.
that actually the first year of that was their last year, which was in 1976, and Dr. J won it. And then they reintroduced in 1999.
Okay. Yeah, because I was doing some research on the league itself, and it's very interesting. As you mentioned, it got started back in 1967. They had like 11 initial investors, and the whole plan was to start this league so that it could eventually merge with the NBA. I think at the time, to start an NBA franchise was very expensive. So this was like another way for some of these small investors to create a plan to get in, start a team with hopes that eventually their teams would be able to become expansion teams within the NBA. And as you mentioned, the ABA had a lot of great initiatives that are still seen today. As you mentioned, the three-point line was started with the ABA, the slam dunk competition, the All-Star game itself. These are all stuff that was initiated by the ABA, and I think also, just to kind of go back into the history a little bit, at the time the NBA had an agreement with the NCAA to, I guess when kids going to college were being drafted, they had to finish 4 years of college before they can go into the NBA. But then the ABA found like a loophole to allow the kids to declare early before graduating and join the ABA. So they had little things that help, create a little bit more flavor for their league, but then eventually, as you said, they had to merge because, they they had some popular attributes, but it still wasn't generating enough money to sustain themselves. So then they later on merged with the NBA. And four of the teams from the ABA now still play with the NBA as well. It was the Nets, the Spurs,
Indiana,
the Nuggets, and the Pacers.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So what made you want to, start this basketball team?
My son,
or reinitiate this team in the area?
My son, Jamal Fountain, last year he played recreation in Verona, Blue Devils. And I said I was going to be a coach for his first whatever he played, right? Was it football, basketball, whatever. I was going to be volunteer to be a coach. And I actually volunteered to coach for his team. And at the end of the season, when they had like a little pizza party, had a pizza party for him, he told me that on our way home, he told me he wanted to be a basketball team owner. In his mind, he was actually talking about a little recreation league or whatever. But I took it a little further, and he was adamant about it. So I looked into it, and it took a few months actually for me to get the right people on the telephone and things of that nature. And I actually got Joe Newman, the CEO of the ABA. He contacted me back, and the rest was history.
Wow.
And that was around August.
Wow. Okay. Now that's a major leap to go from saying I'm going to coach to turn around now actually being an owner of an actual franchise.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I would hate to make it happen for my son.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So what's his thoughts on everything? What's his thoughts on the whole being a franchise owner?
He ready to be the water boy, to be honest with you. he said he wanted to be the owner, but reality, he just wanted to be in the atmosphere. So I'm gonna make sure he in the atmosphere. He's gonna be at the practices that I'm able to make it to, and every game sitting right there on the court side with me. And actually, I'm not gonna be the traditional type of owner. I'm a boots on the ground type owner. I'm gonna be out there selling popcorn, cotton candy. I'll be walking through the crowd.
Okay.
So yes, sir. I'll be working the crowd, and that's just what I do.
Yeah. Reveal down to earth. So you're not going to be like like this George Steinbrenner, be standoffish and
nah, not at all.
You're a man of the people.
Yes, sir. I'm be right around politicking with the people.
That's what's up. So how does one can you kind of talk about some the steps? I know you kind of gave a brief overview, but what goes into actually taking those steps to start or to own a franchise?
First and foremost, you have to create a name. They want to see a vision. The ABA itself, they want to see your vision, and they want to make sure it fits their model. And they want the owners to be people of the community, because like anything else, they're trying to grow, so they don't want any type of negativity connected with them. So after I gave them my bio and a financial history as well, they want to make sure you're able financially to take care of a team. And other little few paperworks, insurance, of course. They want to know if you're able to obtain insurance for the team. That goes back to the financial side of it. But I pretty much, it took me probably a month for everything to get finalized. But it was pretty much easy. They were straightforward. Just make sure you have all your paperwork, just like going to get a house or something of that nature. Make sure you have all your paperwork up front so that, it won't take as long. And the end of what was it? The end of October, they have finalized. They sent me my ownership documents, certificate, and it was just it's a wonderful thing, Kerwin. To be honest with you, I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah. So, are you able to share what's the investment that you had to make? Are you able to share that?
No,
or you're not. Okay.
No, I really don't, because I don't.
Okay, I respect that.
Because mine was just a tad bit different. My investment was different than the average other person, because I put other incentives involved with it. So we will be able to grow. The team will be able to grow.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can tell you that offline.
I think we spoke about it offline, but okay. So that's cool. So okay. So we have the franchise. You're starting it off. So now, how do you go about, I guess, sharing this with the community? Letting the people know.
Guerrilla marketing.
Okay.
With me doing the great thing of it is, with me doing Found For You Foundation for the last 7 years, my Rolodex was kind of just a little bit more built up than the average person that never started anything. Like sponsors already kind of set in place. Marketing, as far as Facebook, I already had presence on Facebook. A lot of connections in the community. So it was just about just getting out there, putting the word out there, and making sure the right people heard it. And to this day, we're still doing the same thing. That's why I'm here with you today, doing this, making it happen.
Okay. Now, I know you already started building your team as well, right? I know
Yes,
you have a
sir.
GM. So can you kind of talk about, who is different people you put in place so far?
Aaron Turner, a young man I met back in 2016 when I was running for city council. He was a real informative young man, and and I knew he knew about sports, and I could trust him. See, I only wanted to get involved with bring people to the round table that I knew that were invested in the community. So when it came to that part, and he's a businessman as well, so I knew I wanted to go to him about being the general manager. Tamika Cousins, she has a wonderful nonprofit. Was it Faces Behind You? If I don't want to say it wrong, I truly apologize about that if I did. But
Tamika Cousins, she is wonderful in the community. So we brought her on board as being our community specialist, connecting with community as well as other nonprofits, reaching out to podcasters, everything that's involved in the community. Tamika Cousins is in charge of. Then we have Ray Neville, who actually spoke at 2 of my events, grand openings, and sponsored one actually. And I knew where he was at passionately about the game of basketball and what he do bring to the city for the young children with his inner city basketball camps every year. So he was the first person I gave a shot to that, and he deserves that, because a lot of individuals, listen, what he brings to the game of basketball, you would have thought that he would have been the coach of UVA or something of that nature, Virginia Union or Virginia State, some type of coaching, in that capacity. But he's not. So Richmond Ram Chargers bringing him on board. We're gonna give him his flowers. We're gonna make sure he get a championship his first year out.
That's what's up.
Matter of fact,
shout out Ray Neville, man. He does a lot.
Yeah, he does.
He does a lot.
That's my guy.
Yeah. So that's your team so far. You have Aaron,
Tamika, and Ray. We also have because our season don't start until November, the first weekend of November, and to keep everybody kind of on the fence about it, once a month we bring in our new individuals.
Okay.
So yeah, we got it's a few more people we bring into the table, and it's not that like we're guessing as we go. We already have it, but I have to set the plan. Like I said, it's guerrilla marketing, so we have to take the stages just to move the people to there, keep the minds going.
Okay.
So you'll see it. We're going to introduce cheerleaders. We're going to introduce a director of our armed forces. We're going to be linked in with the armed forces. What else? Our halftime show coordinators. We have 2 halftime show coordinators. But all that's going to roll out in time so we can keep everybody on the fence about the Richmond Ram Chargers.
That's what's up.
We have the best halftime show in the city. We want to extend our halftime actually to 30 minutes. We're going to give the people for $15, you're going to get the best 30 minutes in the city. You're going to get a real show. And you're going to get a basketball game that's going to be spectacular.
Okay.
Yes,
So now, most importantly, the players, right? So how do you recruit the players?
We're having our tryouts February 24th and February 25th at Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club on R Street in Churchill.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So, and it's going to be from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 3 hours each day. The first day, we're going to have our first cut. Well, on that Saturday, we're going to have our cut. And then that Sunday, we're going to pick our final team, have a final cut. And everybody must pre-register. If they go to my page, Hassan Fountain or Richmond Ram Chargers, we have an Eventbrite. The trials are $30. But if you show up to the door, that day is $65. We have to move it up because we have the insurance purposes and things of that nature.
Right. Okay. So what are the requirements to try out for the team?
18 years old and have a good heart and some good legs because we're going to be running. I'm not going to be honest with you. I know a lot of guys that's like 40 years old that can shoot. Everybody lights out, but they can't run up and down the court. They not going to make it.
So you're not looking for no basket hangers?
Not at all. If you don't fit the description of a 1980, 1981, 82 Lakers, you're not going to make it.
Oh, man. All right. So, and I think that's a great opportunity for like a lot of people in the area because you have like a lot of folks that, they want to, I think about the basketball league that the brother Paul Taylor has. The RVA League for Safer Streets. And this is guys that's been balling there for like the longest. And I think this is a stage or this is the opportunity they can go take their game to the next level.
Yeah.
So definitely. And I think that was like one of the goals they had. I remember speaking with Paul and I can't think of the other brother's name that passed away that founded the league. Yeah. And I think like I had interviewed them when they first started the league, and they said they wanted to kind of create a platform to help kids or help guys get from one stage to the next. So they've been in existence for quite some time, and now that you're presenting another opportunity for people who may have been participating in that league, now they can feel like, okay, now I'm going to the professional, to the professional level, right? Yeah. So I think that this is perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. They
get to travel and everything. It's travel, get paid, and have a good time.
Okay. Oh, you get paid as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what did the salaries look like?
Listen, first and foremost, a lot of the players, everybody know you from New York, right?
Yeah.
And you seen players growing up all your life that was good, right? Mm-hmm. But their hoop dreams only went as far as that the black top, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't capitalize on that black top well, and then they grew to be our age, and then they went on to say, I used to be this, and I used to be that. But, that's just what it was. It was the black top. So, but we're giving them a platform, and that's the major thing, right? We're giving them a platform. We're a traveling team. We're going to be going far as north as Maine, south as Charlotte. This is just the regular season.
Okay.
Far as north is Maine, south is Charlotte, west is Ohio, right? Now, and that's just during the regular season. Now, during playoffs, if we're the top 3 teams, which we're going to be the top #1 team, and we go play national for the national championship all over the United States, right? So,
right.
And I want to say that just about what we're paying the players, because I don't want to hand that out there either about what we're going to be paying the players, because everybody's going to be different. We might have 2 or 3 Michael Jordans in the mix. You know what I'm saying? But it's better than playing on the blacktop for free and having that hoop dream story that never made it. You know, this first season, you know, it might be as little as $100 a game. But guess what? You get free food, you get free travel. All you gotta do is make sure your uniform is clean.
Yeah.
And your shoes fit on you. You know what I'm saying? But you know, and we're gonna have a good time then. But other than that, we already have it set up. So we have individuals in place that's gonna scout them if you want this opportunity to go overseas.
Right.
So it's not going to just be playing for Richmond Ram Chargers. You know, you're playing for the city. We want to build, like anything, when you're the first person that's doing it. We're not the first people to do semi-pro here in Richmond, but I do want to say this: we're going to take it to the next stage that others probably didn't do it that way, because they were the first. You know, so we're going to build on what they already had going on. Yeah. Yes,
that's great. That's great. And again, I think it's great exposure, because again, you're not just playing here locally. Yeah. As you mentioned, you're going to Maine, going to Charlotte, going to Ohio, and all the other states in between, where other people from other areas get the chance to see your talent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so man, did you see number 15 from the Richmond Ram Chargers? The dude is nice, and you know. So that is really great exposure.
That same guy might can be overseas. That same year, that next year, Washington Wizards might pick him up. Like, you know, we need an extra guy. We heard this guy is good, because we're going to be the big thing about it is, Kevin, we're going to make a lot of noise about this situation. So it's not going to be like a little recreation league where they're just playing. People are going to hear we're going to have the attendance going to be there. It's going to be good. I'm passionate about it, and I truly apologize.
Right. Hey, I feel you. So you mentioned earlier that when you presented, I guess when you reached out to the ABA owners, that your mission had to align with their mission, right?
Yes, sir.
So initially, I think we kind of spoke about the history, was when they first started the league back in 1967, their main objective was to merge with the NBA, kind of build the league up to a position where it can merge with the NBA. I'm not sure if you're able to answer this, but I guess with the resurgence, or when they started back in 1999, what was the goal at that point in time to bring the league back?
Well, to build the league, and the same thing pretty much. Now, the way is different now, because times are different and everything, right?
Right.
So the ABA back then was able to grow bigger because it wasn't the other leagues out there. There's 1,000,001 other leagues out there now, right?
Right.
But the good thing about the ABA now, we're still connected with the NBA. See, when the NBA in '76, they brought the ABA out.
Right.
In order for them to come back out, it was like a decision with the NBA. So they just didn't come back out with the ABA. It was like the NBA gave them the blessings, like, okay, we will, because they owned the name at the very end of the day. The NBA owned the ABA name. So it was pretty much like giving them the blessings. Like I said, Joe Newman. And then it was another young man who owned the Indiana Pacers. It was a part of the 1999 deal. But he passed away. So Joe Newman is the sole CEO right now, and he's running a wonderful organization. But let me just say this: the same energy that they brought in 1967.
Yeah.
Why can't I just bring that same energy? Why can't I just build Richmond Ram Chargers to take them to the NBA? Because that's what we're going to do at the very end of the day. We want to bring some attention here to Richmond. Virginia never had their own solidified NBA team, never. So, and I'm not counting about the Washington Wizards talking about coming five miles, still being Washington Wizards. You know, that's like being Washington Redskins being in Landover, Maryland. I'm talking about a Virginia team.
Right. Okay. Okay. So I guess the way you want to take this like to the next level, right?
Yes.
Really promote RVA and get Richmond on the map and get Virginia on the map as well for his basketball.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what's up.
If we're gonna do it, let's do it, right?
Yeah.
We got 3 little children. If I'm gonna be away from them, it got to be worth it.
Right.
At the very end of the day.
I feel that. So what can people look forward to now? I guess you have you're making the announcements. We have the you have the trials coming up soon. You're building your team. What's next that people can anticipate, or what can they expect?
Look for us marching around the city, marching around Central Virginia. We're going to be doing podcasts every week, like we're here with you right now. We're going to be doing a lot of meet and greets after the tryouts in February. We're going to try to have one meet and greet every month. So we're going to be going to all localities here in Central Virginia, letting everybody know, building up our fan base, talking to schools, talking to churches. Matter of fact, was it February the 10th? Somebody invited me out to Halifax County to speak at church for a Black History situation because of the Richmond Ram Chargers and Found for You Foundation, things of that nature. We're looking at to have what's that? RVA meets. Am I saying that right?
What is it?
Well, I don't want to speak about that because I don't even have the name right.
Okay.
We have a lot of locations that we're going to have our meet and greets at, and so that's what people need to be looking at. And I want to get some great sponsors as well, because this is going to be a groundbreaking situation here. Like I said, a lot of people did it before, but we're going to be doing it to a totally different level. Okay.
Sir. Right. And then also, I guess, where would the home games be played? Have you secured a location yet?
Huguenot High School.
Okay.
Yeah, Huguenot High School. We actually went out there the other day. We spoke with everybody and pretty much got everything solidified. Not 100%, maybe 98%, but it will be. The games will be there. And they have the biggest, that's the biggest venue in the city of Richmond. And I want to stay in the city. I could have went anywhere, Highland Springs, Verona, any of these other new schools out in the counties, if they invited us on in. But because it's the Richmond Ram Chargers, I want to stay within the city limits. Sorry about that.
I was going to say, so why is that so important for you to kind of stay in Richmond?
We got to be the same reason it was important for me to have my first community children library in Gilpin Court. I want to make a statement. I want to make sure our statement is correct of giving back to the city. And as well, it's important that we stay in the city of Richmond. And we want the spectators, the fans, and everybody to come from all over the state. But I want to give back. We're giving back 15% of all proceeds to Richmond Public Schools, elementary schools.
Okay.
So, I feel that we should have it in the city so we can showcase that situation. That's going to be our first year. We're going to do that to make sure these. And that's an extension of Found for You Foundation, as you mentioned earlier, that me doing the community children libraries, where we used to go into the libraries and the school libraries and donate books to the schools because there's bookshelves wasn't bustling like it was when I was a child, right? And this is aside from me doing the community children libraries. So because we did the free book fairs and everything, and we stocked the bookshelves up in the schools. So instead of doing that, we want to go ahead and just cut them a check, like pick a school, such money allocated for this, so the librarians can go out there and get the books that they actually need, or the other resources that they need.
That's
so it's important for us to stay in Richmond. Yes, sir.
Yeah, like I said, when I first met you, man, you always, like I said, you're a man of the people. And they're always giving back. I always see with your family, your wife and your kids, and you're moving, within that circle to make sure that that our kids have the right resources to excel and to educate themselves. So tell me, how is what are the updates with the Fountain for Youth Foundation? How's that coming along?
It's the Richmond Ram Chargers.
Okay.
I mean, we had to. Like I said, it's about growth, right? I did Found Few for 7 years, 2016 to right now, and it's just time to take it to another level. I went to I have a library in every neighborhood here in Richmond. Central Virginia, Southwest Virginia have libraries. Northern North Carolina have a library. We put out over 152,000 books. That's the last number I counted at. Over 152,000 books, 19 community children libraries, 37 free book fairs in elementary schools, dozens of community events, well, hundreds of community events, and even took my children, Harmony and Melody, took them to what they seen, just like my son. Same scenario with my son, but back then they said, "Daddy, we want to do something. We sitting here looking at you give away the books." So they started H&M Education Station.
Right.
So listen how this all plays out. They even made their own Richmond Ram Chargers logo for kids. It's only going to come in pink, purple, and black. Pink and purple for the girls, black for the boys. And their logo looked totally different than mine, but it say Richmond Ram Chargers and has a little more glow effect to it. So yeah, so that's their extension off of it. So they're moving H&M Education Station. They're going to get into their apparel situation. So everybody's just growing with it. Now it's time for my son to step up and do his part because he never did anything. He give back. What he do? He give back. He have Jamal's World. He give back. Yeah, giving free food to homeless.
Okay.
That's his shot.
Okay. Okay. So pretty much, the Richmond Ram Chargers is pretty much the evolution of the Fountain Fuse Foundation, just kind of taking it up to another level, but still giving back to the community.
100% without being a nonprofit, because Richmond Ram Chargers is not a nonprofit. And let me just say this: we never utilized our nonprofit status like the traditional nonprofits do. I never applied for a grant. The whole 7 years, never applied for a grant, none of that. We just had a lot of support. And that's where I get back to saying the Rolodex. Talk directly to people. It was, if somebody gave, they gave. Look, we want to help you grow. We want to help these kids. So we didn't grow as the traditional nonprofit. But what we did have, we had a lot of. We grew faster, I think. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant or anything like that, but we just was at the right place, the right time, and the right people in front of us. That first 6 months, and it propelled us from that point on. Matter of fact, the first 2 months, I met 5 key individuals that pushed us faster than anybody can push us when I didn't even know that we can go that far. So, yeah, and we're going to do the same thing with Richmond Ram Chargers. But this time around with Richmond Ram Chargers, I have a team. So if my wife and I and my children, essentially, that was the core for Found Few. They'll put into me, look, we got to put the team together, because this right here, we can't lag behind. We got to keep pushing it. Every second, we got to keep going up. And that's what we're doing right now. It's a wonderful thing.
Right. Okay. Cool. So before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we wrap up?
Anything I want to share with you? I want to say, come on out, pass the word about the Eventbrite. Go on Richmond Ram Chargers Facebook page, the Instagram, the Hassan Fountain's Facebook page, Aaron Turner's Facebook page. You can go on Tamika Cousins' Facebook page. The Eventbrite is there. Go ahead and register. We need to go ahead and get these players registered so we can have a good event. The second day, that Sunday, whoever makes the second cut, we're going to have a media day on that Sunday. The media are going to be there, and our potential sponsors also going to be there, so they can see what they're going to be sponsoring. The media are going to be there. And actually Thursday, an article going to come up with us in Richmond Free Press.
Okay.
So go grab a paper, check us out. It's an article going to be in Thursday's Richmond Free Press. Listen, Carolyn, I just want to say, Richmond is about to experience something they never had. Like I said, they had the basketball, but we're going to take it here with it. You're going to think Albie Shore was in town when we get done. But that's what it's about. I mean, and like I said, if it was only about me and my son, I'll probably go over there and get some jerseys, and we have another Pee Wee league, a Pee Wee team, 2A league that's already existing. But it's bigger than that. You know, it's not even about me. Matter of fact, I opted out of taking a salary. I opted out of taking $2. This is about my investing into it, helping others grow. We're setting the stage for other entrepreneurs to be a part of the situation. I'm talking about vendors. If we're gonna have 3 vendors. Our main vendor is the Beef Shack with Jerry.
Okay. Okay.
He sells some wonderful food. And so he's gonna be our main vendor. He's gonna be utilizing the concessions area.
Yeah.
Food. Then we'll have 2 food trucks as well outside. And we're asking, of course, we'll have our apparel, but we want to bring other individuals involved. This is, like I said, it's bigger than the Richmond Ram Chargers. We want to bring the community in, economically wise, like reading your book, right? Malik's First Job.
Right.
Essentially, and I read that book actually. I have it in my son's room actually, and gave me a couple copies. I gave a few out, but he kept one in his room because I wanted to remind him, look here, this you right here. Read this. come full circle back to it. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You know, it's about people working hard and seeing vision, and that's what we had to do that, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not wasting my children's time. I have 7 children. My oldest child is 30, youngest is 7, and I can't waste their time. So I've been away from, to be honest with you, for not physically away, but mentally away for the last 7 years doing Found for Youth. They've been there with me,
right? But
now this is their investment. Like I said, my son, he sees it from a different angle as being the water boy, the general manager, however he see it. My daughters, they looking at it, they happy because they're gonna bring out their apparel line.
Yeah.
And so, you know, everybody involved. My wife, she's the unspoken president of the situation.
Okay.
You know, she's behind the scenes. She don't like to be out front, but she's working, doing her thing with it. And we're gonna grow this, man. I just hope guys like yourself come out, good individuals.
Yeah.
Listen, at my table, there's no money grabbers. It's only community invested people. And that's the way I like to keep it, because when you bring the money grabbers into the situation, you start seeing your business move in directions you don't want it to move, but then the momentum is going there so much that you end up losing control of what you're trying to grow in a good way. So, but I do want to invite you out for Media Day. Come on out, do a live show. Just like you're doing now, do a live show for our Media Day on the 25th of February.
Okay.
2 to 3. Yeah, come out, set up, and we're asking everybody to come out and do that. You know, it's about bringing the awareness that the Richmond Ram Chargers are here to stay, and we're going to come in here and we're going to make some noise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quick question before we go. Let me ask you a question. Let me interview you a second. Who's your favorite rap MC?
My favorite what?
Favorite hip hop artist?
Oh man, there's too many names. I can't say a favorite. Man, there's different categories. You know, when I think about it, right? But I think just the top of my head right now, like right now, I have to say Sean Price. Right?
Sean Price, great day. Yeah,
Sean Price.
You must you must know him personally. No, he good though. I like him too. Yeah.
Sean Price. Sean Price. You know.
What year did you go to Morgan? You went to Morgan State, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What year did you go to Morgan State?
I was there between 93 and 97.
Okay, so I know you. So I didn't want to ask your age, so I kind of figured it out now. 93, 97. Yeah. Sean Price would have fell in there with you. Yeah.
I was a 90s backpacker, man.
Yeah. You know, did you rap?
I was in my in elementary school.
Yeah.
Elementary school, you know, we had a group in elementary school. We were trying to do some things, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. So other than Sean Price, commercial wise, who did you like?
Commercial? See, I'm from the era of anti-commercial.
Yeah, I know,
but I have to say, you know, I guess somebody that's more, I'd say like KRS-One or Rakim or something like that.
Okay, I'm surprised you didn't say that before, Sean Price.
Well, you said that again when you asked me. The first thing that popped in my head was Sean Price.
Okay.
You know, but now you know I say, you know, if you look something more traditional, you know, I think like a KRS-One or a Rakim or even a cane. You know.
Oh, yeah, good God Almighty, yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't no half stepping. I remember seeing that for the first time. Matter of fact, that was a killer. It was killer right there. Hearing it for the first time, not seeing it, but hearing it. Yeah. I'm a hip hop head myself. I'm a tad bit younger than you, I think. Well, I know, and but my father played a lot of music, and every year that he would get, the component stereo systems, came with the receiver, the tape deck, and things of that nature. Every 2 years, he might get a new one. So I would have the Pioneers, the JVCs, the whatever the brands was. I was going to say Jensen, but I don't even think Jensen was that top tier back then.
Okay.
But he would give me all his components, and like, say for instance, the receiver would mess up on one, but he'd give me the extra tape deck and the extra turntable. And so I have like 2 or 3 turntables, and I had figured out how to manipulate them, how to hook them all together. And so, man, my room had the posters from Word Up, from Fresh, and all this stuff all over the walls. I had the old albums. Matter of fact, I got an album collection right now, and it's impeccable, to be honest with you.
Okay.
That's from back then. And also because my first album back then was that my mother and father bought me was Radio, LL Cool J.
Okay.
And my second one was EPMD, Strictly Business. And I love, and that was a 45 actually.
Oh wow!
So I grew up on all that music, man, and man, my father was a big Curtis Blow fan.
Okay.
Yeah, things of that nature. Yeah, he was a hip hop head.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I just figured I asked you. I see you post a lot about hip hop.
Yeah. Like I said, I was grew up on it pretty much. Hip hop raised me. When you speak about the first album, the first vinyl, my father bought me was the first Fat Boys album. So so I kind of go back a little bit.
Yeah. Which one was the first one? Was that them standing on top of the limo?
No. They was on top of a hamburger or something like that. It was a yellow one. It had like Jailhouse Rock on it, Jailhouse Rap, Human Beatbox.
Yeah. I had one of them. I can't remember which one. I had the tape. I didn't have the album though.
Yeah. That was the first. And I think that the first cassette tape I had was Yo Bum Rush the Show by Public Enemy. That was the first one possible for me. Yeah.
What part of New York did you grow up in?
Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who was the famous DJs back there? Do you remember?
DJs, you had like Red Alert, Marley Marl, Kid Capri, Ron G, SNS.
Neighborhood DJs.
Neighborhood DJs. I think like who was there? Like in Brooklyn, like Goldfinger, DJ Chubby Chub. I know my cousin used to DJ growing up. Like he used to have parties in the basement, but I don't know what his DJ name was.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That must have introduced you to hip hop in a big way, right there. Your cousin, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I remember like this, like in the late '70s, early '80s. I just remember hearing like certain records a lot, like "Love Is the Message." I heard that a lot, and I just remember like he would have his records out, and I just remember that Sugar Hill logo, right, with the colorful spiral.
Yeah.
And I just knew, like looking at that or looking at profile, like the profile logo. I know these were like the hip records. I knew that's all I knew. That if it had like the Sugar Hill logo on it, or it was like Profile Records, or even Def Jam, I knew that was like the special records that you want to listen to.
Yeah, exactly. I was just listening to Apache last night. Not last night, earlier yesterday.
Okay.
That's a song about Sugar Hill Gang.
Yeah.
I got that album as well.
That has that incredible bongo band sample on it.
Yeah. One day I'm gonna like that. Do you have a record player?
Do I? No, my son has one.
Okay. So I'm about to let you hold a couple of vinyls. My prized possession though is what is it? What's the Kango Kid? What's the group Kango Kid in?
UTFO?
UTFO, yeah. I had that original vinyl.
The Roxanne?
Yep, got that and got the remix. Got like 2 remixes of it on it.
Okay.
in the Wu-Tang original album.
Okay.
First one. Which a lot of people that's a lot of people go after all that right now. So yeah. And I got the Run DMC. I got the Kumo D one. We standing right in front of the Wrangler with the Kango up under the tire.
With the Kango up under the tire.
Yeah, I had that album as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I love my music, man. But I love Richmond, and I love the Richmond Ram Chargers even more.
That's what's up. That's what's up. But before we go, I got to say thank you, right?
Yes, thank you.
Because, indirectly, or you can say directly, you are like partly responsible for us forming the Youth Business Exchange and starting the Children's Business Fair in Richmond.
Wow. Okay.
Right. Because remember back, you had a grand opening at the it was a community center in Mosby Court.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I spoke at that one, and
yes,
CJ
sir.
Walker was there. That's the day I met CJ.
That's the first day I met her as well.
Right.
But that's when you first met her?
That's when I first met her at your event.
I thought
and then of course, and we had exchanged numbers, and then we sat down, we spoke, and she told we kind of shared the idea of putting together a business fair for children, and again it just jumped from there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that is that. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Black History before Black History. Because I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
so
that's all right, man. That's very, very. That's very interesting. That's wow. Yeah. CJ actually made me some maybe about 2 months ago. She made me some Richmond Ram Chargers stickers.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So you see how all this stuff comes full circle?
Yes, sir.
You gotta the different networks. You gotta stay plugged in with each other because you never know. When you be able to help each other in the future.
That goes back to what I was saying. You gotta keep that Rolodex.
Yep.
A lot of people dismiss people that they meet and they say, okay, yeah, I don't blah and keep going. You got to keep in contact in some type of way, whether it's once every year, once every 2 months, once every 6 months. Keep in contact and keep that thing fresh, because I never know, like you said, when everybody can come piggyback off each other and get what they got to get to. So yeah, that's a wonderful thing, man. You're doing a wonderful job as well, man.
You too, man. You too. Like I said, like 7 years ago or 8 years ago, you was doing the library. I don't know. I was doing the hip hop stuff at the time, and CJ was doing her thing. And then now, 7 years later, you got the Richmond Ram Chargers. I got the podcast. CJ's doing the T-shirt stuff and like I said, the stickers. It all. Hey. You never know where stuff will take you.
Exactly. Hey, that's why it's good to be good to people in God's grace.
Doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
That's why it's good to do that. That's what it's about. That's why everything you, I, and everybody else is plugged into us is we're gonna flourish. We're gonna blow. We're gonna do what God intended us to do. It's written in stone for us to be where we need to be at. We just gotta believe in ourselves. And let me just say this real quick, if you don't mind. A lot of people in general, right? A lot of people they look to say, how can somebody help me, right? And when people get to that point, how can somebody? And I was like that a year out of my 47 years. And I was never like that before that, and I was never like that afterwards. But I was like that for 1 year in my life. And that 1 year that I was like that, I fell all the way down up under the bottom of my shoe. That's how far I fell down, because I was in that mentality of what somebody can do for me, right? And I started depending on people so much I became homeless, right? And then I looked into the mirror one day and said, look, I need to snap out of this thing here. And after that, I started back believing in myself. And I didn't look back from that point. A year later, I met my wife. 2 years later, I was married. 3 years later, I ran for public office. A year later after that, a couple of months after that, started Found Few Foundation. And now we're full circle back to where I met you right after that, because that library that you're speaking of was probably my third library at the time. I think it was. My second novel was my third. And man, we have to believe in ourselves and get out of the mentality of what somebody else can do for me, and just staying stagnant in life. That ain't fun. Trust me. It's
right.
Not. and we got to uplift our people. That's a part of what Richmond Ram Chargers trying to do, give people opportunity. We don't want no black court dreams 20 years from now saying what we could have did. No, we're going to make sure that you're going to get there and do what you do. As a matter of fact, Kerwin, we're going to win 3 championships, right? 3 national championships with the American Basketball Association, and in 5 years we will be in the NBA.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. And we're going to be our second or third year. We're going to be playing at the Richmond Coliseum. That's just me being passionate and me believing in me and believing in the team that we came together and made. So yeah, I want to be at the Richmond Coliseum. We're going to be doing some big things. We're going to make the city say, look at here, we got to open this up because these guys are blowing it out the water.
That's what's up.
So,
you got to speak things into existence.
100%.
Speak it into existence. Right?
Yes, sir. I definitely appreciate this interview, Kerwin.
Man, I appreciate you taking the time to come out, and come on the podcast, man.
Yes, sir.
So, all right. So, thank you, Hassan, and thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, I took a little break, but now we're back. Definitely visit the website, Richmond Ram Chargers, VA.com, right, and get plugged in what's going on with the team. Also, follow them on Instagram and Facebook, Richmond Ram Chargers, right, the latest, greatest basketball team to hit the Richmond area, right. And like I said, like Hassan said, there's a lot of great things that's going to happen. So you want to get in and see it from the ground floor as it grows, right. So again, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Generational wealth.